Hi, this is Ian Wright, and welcome to Saturday Live Meditation. I do something in my book, which is called The Dynamics of Stillness. I'm always looking at ways to reconnect with nature, because it seems that because of all of us, man's disconnect with nature, most of the trouble has happened in the world and further. And so actually also it feels great to feel nature, to sit outside in nature. You sit outside there and you start to feel nature, and you drop out of your thinking world into a sensory world of feeling and connection, and that I on courses for years I've been doing is, one of the things I would do on kind of sensory development courses is just getting people to sit out quietly in nature. And if you sit and you don't disturb nature, as in you allow your energy to come in quiet place in yourself, after about 10 minutes, kind of nature comes out. It starts to, and it's like this whole world that you didn't know was there when you're trundling, as we do, through nature, that all disappears. It starts to come out, little birds and small animals and and the whole thing comes alive. It's an incredible thing. But it seems that we have to allow ourselves to go a little bit quiet to in a way allow nature back in. And so some of the work on doing, looking at the tide, the long tide, and the indigenous tribes, and how they had this connection with this kind of wind, and it was a sense of connection, how they would go into cities or towns and lose the connection, the stories of the Bushmen and of the Kalahari, etc. And so, anyway, it seems also that, in terms of this incredible kind of ecology which is within us, which is our bacterial biome, our virome, how many multiple 10 to the 15 viruses in us which actually work naturally with our cells, incorporated into our cells and enhancing their function. This is a incredible functional balance that we have with the external world and the internal world, which is constantly in dynamic. Now, it seems increasingly to me, the more I work with chronic difficult cases, that this harmony, this synchrony really or this coherence of our field and the field of the nature around us, if that becomes disquiet, for example, if we're stressed or environmental toxins or whatever it is, this incredible harmony, this coherence gets distorted and problems ensue. There's distress and we start to feel unwell and our physiology start to do something, and it's often not when you're treating certainly post-trauma, physiological trauma in people, it's actually the trauma is one thing, and then it's the reaction of the body to it which actually causes the damage. It's true with vascular stuff and perinatal children stuff, etc. Lots of different things. So it's often our reaction, say, to viruses, to bacteria, etc., that creates the problem with us. So increasingly, I'm interested in this whole coherence, and so I think we just bring that into a meditative process. There's a load of different techniques for actively re-engaging with nature, and so let's try and do one now. Anyway, enough talking from me, and close your eyes, and let's just see if we can settle ourselves to be quiet enough to allow nature to engage with us again. Our multiple trillions of cells are alive with potency. They're engaging, they're finding harmony, synchrony, balance. They are taking in nutrients, oxygen, etc., and removing them. And this is the stuff of life. And our bodies are incredible at their natural coherence and harmony. It's something beyond what any doctor or any scientist can do. It's so much clever. And so when I'm teaching what I do, it's all about getting out of the way, stopping how much we can limit the healing in someone so that they can actually heal. And it's incredible to work with and support with these self-healing forces, which is just normal physiology really in the body, and removing blocks. Anyway, we can do that with ourselves. So just bring your attention to your nose. Which is an incredible device, incredible layers of conchae, sinuses, which screen and warm the air, protect us much better than any mask could, of course. It's incredible what we can do. And just bring your attention to the air as it enters into your nose if your nose is not blocked. So breathe out in through your nose and feel the air entering your nose, and then just allow yourself to breathe out. You can breathe out through your mouth or your nose. Now just watch your breath as it comes into the lungs. There's a moment of quiet, and then you breathe out. These are natural processes. They don't need any conscious volition or control. It's the most natural thing in the world. It's the thing we do from our first breath to our last. Just allow any tension which is in your breathing to relax. We often hold tension in our breath. Don't breathe deeply, breathe quietly, delicately, shallowly. Allow it to just soften. Allow your breathing to soften. So when you breathe in, the air, the oxygenated air that you breathe in, which has been oxygenated by the trees of the planet, and this air freely circulates throughout the whole planet. So when you take a breath in, you are connecting directly with the whole planet within this atmosphere. You're in a continuous connection with that. Try and get a sense of that. And get a sense of the trees that are doing the opposite. They are taking out the carbon dioxide that you've blown out, and they exchange it. And so look at a coherent harmony, feel it, get a feeling sense of the trees of the planet and you. this incredible, harmonious dynamic. Okay, and so let's just do something else. So when you breathe out and you allow the end of the breath, just allow your attention to rest in the stillness at the end of the out breath. So you breathe out, and there's a gap, and that gap is stillness. It's like when you start to breathe in, it's motion from stillness. And you breathe out, and you're back to stillness. And from stillness is motion in the in-breath. And the out-breath, it takes you back to the stillness. It's like a sea of stillness from which your breath comes. So let's thank nature for supporting us and holding us here. And for me, we have to reconnect in order to try and do something, to save things anyway. And for any more of these kind of nature connection practices are either in my book or on my online course, Stillness practices. A lot of that's nature-based, which is so important, I think, right now. I wish you well, and we'll speak soon.